I knew she obviously became queen very young. I knew she was spirited and passionate, but I think, again, because that image, the iconic image that we see of her is her all in black, we kind of don't really consider the fact that an 18-year-old overnight who didn't have a father, who had a very dysfunctional relationship with her mother, effectively with the help of her governess and her dog Dash, became the most powerful woman in the world at 4'11" at a time when women didn't have the vote. But just her spirit, I kind of like her lack of, she's very unapologetically herself, flawed and kind of warts and all, and gets it very wrong, but ultimately I think has this incredible heart and this unbelievable will in a way, which is, I think it's fascinating and relatively untold. There was a lot on the page, but Daisy sent me a lot of resource, and then I read numerous biographies, and that's so interesting because, you read one biography and it's interesting what you can do with tone. Some people would suggest a certain thing, other people would suggest another, so you kind of want, it's not like now we don't have kind of footage of her, or we don't have, but ultimately what we do have is her voice on the page, and although they've been censored, there's kind of so much that you can, there's so much you can grasp about her, but as well as her sketches and her watercolors, for me, I found incredibly useful because it's actually the subject of what she paints, and also it's how she sees the world and what interests her, and it's untouched totally. And it's a lot of it is just quite simple and honest, and with a lack of kind of state or pomp. And I think that's the one thing I always think about her, is being she's very straight and forthright and obstinate, and I think especially as she gets older, that's something else that we really try to do, is her going from her youth and being a girl into how she ages as well, into becoming the kind of the formidable Victoria that we associate and that we know very much. Series 1 we kind of very much girl to woman, I suppose, and so you've got the kind of the battling of youth and responsibility, youth and power, queen and teenager. So there was quite a lot of, we covered about 3 years, obviously the coronation and meeting Albert, and in terms of storytelling there was quite a lot to get through to get to the first baby. So it's going to be quite interesting next year, I think, because it's kind of Victoria in married life, but also I think it's a lot of the marriage battle that they had, and navigating the day job, with Victoria being the most powerful woman in the world with a husband, and trying to, but also a very fiercely independent woman, and kind of navigating that battle between the two of them. It's quite a tumultuous and passionate marriage. And also the kind of socially what's going on at the time. I know Daisy's looking at the potato famine, and something that we tried to do last year was keep the inventions coming forward, the invention of the railway, photography. So it's kind of a good examination of socially what was happening at the time. We were all hoping for it, but I think that's the thing with a new show. You never entirely know how it's going to be received. So it was. There's just so much there. The story is just waiting to be told, and actually, I think one of the main problems we have is there's kind of too much story. So it's kind of picking, trying to get to the great exhibition, and how do you pace it? They've got 9 children to have. It's going to. There's so many charming little day-to-day details, human stories as well, like away from court, just in between them, or family life, and so it's just rich. It's kind of just navigating where to go. I'm excited to explore, or I think one of the greatest love stories that we've ever had, of two complete opposite people, two young. I think we need to, they're like, I think they're 21 now where we've left them, yet still navigating, ruling the United Kingdom. So it just makes for really brilliant storytelling. I mean, to be honest, I love anything that's a bit further away from, you know, I don't usually like using my own accent or anything like that really helps. And with Victoria, obviously we had contact lenses, we had, you know, we could really play with her age and the way that, like, you know, and obviously the sets. I think all of that really, really helps. But I think the best thing about it is and the most interesting thing is the kind of the social, the protocol and the etiquette, and that's what I kind of love about period drama, is that you have people who behave and how have to behave in this kind of a uniform way that's socially acceptable at the time, and there's certain etiquette, shall we say, and actually what you've got is the human underneath wanting to, you know, and that's what I love about Victoria in particular, because she's kind of has a certain way in which she's supposed to behave and a certain job, I suppose, that she has to follow, yet you've always got the human inside kind of fighting a way to, you know, just to be impulsive or be and not want to follow those kind of social conditions of the time, which is, I love that battle, which is why I love, you know, period drama, I think.